Now I'm going to call the Subcommittee of Higher Education to order. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to take, I think we're missing one patron anyway right now. We're going to take one budget amendment, the Speaker's budget amendment. We'll go ahead and do that. And then we're going to do the two bills, and then we'll take the rest of the budget amendments. So I think Chris White is going to address the budget amendment we have concerning Mary Washington. 189, 180.
Page 5 of your packet.
Page 5.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee. My name is Chris White. I'm here on behalf of the University of Mary Washington. The university is seeking some initial resources for seed funding to create and enhance some high-quality programs to meet the needs of the adult education population in the region, including veterans, first-generation, and other non-traditional learners. We envision credit and non-credit courses being delivered with flexibility suited to working adults, including evening and online courses. By investing in creating these high-quality programs, the university will be able to fill a key role in regional economic development, building on the budget language that you all approved in partnership with the Fredericksburg Regional Alliance last session. UMW is uniquely positioned in the region, given the several military bases in our area, to provide these programs for our veterans population. Additionally, this investment will re-energize our Stafford campus, eventually being able to pay for itself, thus helping to keep tuition low and assist with realigning some of our structural challenges for our overall budget that I know many of you are aware of. Be happy to answer any questions if the subcommittee has any.
Any questions for Mr. White? Note that seems to be high as a patron, so thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee.
All right, let's go to the bills. We're going to start with Delegate Simon. You have HB 1916. If everyone will focus on that particular bill. Welcome, Delegate Simon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Governor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee. How are you this afternoon?
Wonderful. How are you?
Good. So, House Bill 1916 establishes a Virginia Student Loan Authority. What we're trying to do here is give the Commonwealth and our residents a tool to deal with what's really become a very, I would call it a crisis as far as student loan debt is concerned. We've got over $300 million in outstanding student loan debt in Virginia, over $1.3 billion in outstanding student loan debt nationwide. And there are a number of strategies that have been employed to begin to deal with that. And I know that members of this committee and the House are looking hard at ways to make college more affordable going forward, looking at ways to increase grant funding and give incentives for students to finish those things in 4 years and minimize the cost and the amount of debt that they have to take on. This bill, though, is mostly focused on people that have already graduated from universities, have already got a degree, and now are trying to become full participants in the Virginia economy, but are hampered by the amount of student loan debt that they're saddled with. So, we tell kids, growing up and coming out of school, listen, study hard, get good grades, get yourself into a good college or university, work hard for those 4 years, get your degree, and that's going to be your ticket out of poverty and into the middle class, or out of the middle class and into the upper middle class. It's your success. It's your ticket to success. Unfortunately, if you come out with too much debt, it doesn't necessarily work out that way for you. And you've got this large unmanageable student loan payment that you've got to deal with terms that may not have been fully explained to you at the outset when you were 18 years old in the bursar's office trying to figure out how much, this is great, I'm so excited I got into this university, but now, how do I pay for it? So he does, don't worry about it. We'll make sure it gets paid for. We'll get you in. Let's just take the, you tell us what you want to take, what classes you need to take, we'll find the money for you. Don't worry about that when you get out. Unfortunately, the economy when a lot of folks got out in the early 2000s was not what they thought it would be, and those student loan debts had provisions where you could do a forbearance, for instance. You take some time off making your payments, which you may not have understood if you did that, and we heard from Virginia and George Mason University about a year and a half ago. She took a forbearance for a couple of years, and all that interest that she wasn't paying was getting lumped back into the principal of that loan, and the loan grew from what was a modest amount to an unsustainable amount. So, how we deal with that with this particular bill is we give student loan borrowers the ability to do what most of us can do with our mortgage loan, which is take advantage of today's really historically low interest rates, right? And I think a number of us on the committee, and I know I have at least 4 or 5 times, refinanced my mortgage, home mortgage, as rates went down, saving me $200, $300, $400 a month in some cases as we could keep going down with interest rates. Unfortunately, a lot of folks with federal student loans can't do that. You can't go to the current servicer and pay off your loan at a better rate. So what this bill proposes to do is to create an authority here in Virginia where we can sell bonds using the lending power of the Commonwealth, all these municipal bonds which are tax advantaged at really favorable interest rates, and then loan that money back out to Virginia students who've got student loan debt at high interest rates, allow them to take advantage of those low rates, consolidate some of their, maybe a number of different student loans into one manageable payment, and get them fully participating in Virginia's economy. Now, last year I came and proposed an authority to just do that. Chairman Kilgore down at Commerce and Labor said, let's take a look at that. And it sounds like a really big idea to try and handle. Let's send it off to Chev and 529 in Treasury and look at the wisdom of that. And they came back and said there's a couple of problems with that approach, Delegate Simon. I'm talking about myself as a person, I shouldn't do that. But anyway, they said there's a couple of problems with that. They said, the risk pool is pretty small, it's pretty narrow. It's just people that really need to refinance their existing student loan. You're going to expose the Commonwealth to maybe more risk than you want to. We can't offset that with a different, with more A borrowers, as we call them in the mortgage industry, really good borrowers. They said if you want to do this, either go small or go big. So I, being the ambitious guy that I am, went big. So let's bring back the Virginia Student Loan Authority altogether, and let's allow the Student Loan Authority to do what it did from 1975 to 1997, and make loans to all kinds of Virginians, to folks entering medical school, law school, entering 4-year universities, and let's give them the authority to refinance existing student loans. And that's the model that works really well in Rhode Island, for instance. That's sort of the classics. They were one of the first states to try and do this. So their existing Rhode Island Student Loan Authority got into the business of refinancing existing student loans in addition to what they were already doing. And they found they've been very successful. They can take loans of 9.5%, 10%, refinance them at 4.5%, cut people's payments way down. And it's actually turned out to be a benefit to the Treasury. They actually make money on the student loan refinance work that they do there. So it's not the first, we're not the first folks to try this. It's been done elsewhere. And what this bill would do, again, be establish that authority and get us back in the business of doing student loans for folks that need it.
Okay. Any questions for the patron? Delegate Matson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I've got a series of questions for Delegate Simon. I'm happy to go through you, but it might make any sense.
I think it makes more sense to just ask those directly. Delegate Matson.
Delegate Simon, I mean, we up here on this side of the aisle are big believers in access and affordability in our higher education market. I got to tell you, as a capital markets professional and as a finance professional and as somebody who has made and collected billions of dollars of loans, I'm a little concerned about putting the state of Virginia or this loan authority in the bank, in the student loan banking business. So I just would like to ask you, I mean, you personally, do you have any banking or capital markets education, training, or experience?
I have not, I wouldn't call it capital markets experience, no. My experience has been very much the retail end of things, helping folks refinance their existing mortgages and things like that.
So you are in the mortgage business, and you help people refinance their mortgages, is that correct?
Well, I'm a real estate title attorney, and so I work with mortgage lenders on the retail side, help close loans, review, you know, notes, deeds of trust. But when it comes to, when those loans get, you know, bundled together and financed and sold off, that's beyond me.
And how do you see the state of Virginia developing the credit market expertise, you know, to do credit analysis on individual students to make sure